Now that we have formed an army of 7 million dedicated to the rule of law and preserving our democracy, we must mobilize. Squadrons of no less than 15 or more than 100 must be formed. Each squad member must sign a complaint and affidavit attesting to the fact that Trump incited an insurrection on January 6, 2021, that the U.S. Congress initiated impeachment proceedings against Trump for inciting the insurrection, and that Senator Thune, for example, voted against the impeachment, thus giving aid and comfort to Trump in violation of 18 U.S. Code 2383. A similar complaint should be prepared naming all the other senators and House members individually who voted against impeachment. Be sure to include the date of their vote. A complaint naming Trump as a defendant should be prepared individually naming each participant in the January 6 insurrection who Trump pardoned, accusing Trump of giving aid and comfort to that insurrectionist in violation of 18 U.S. Code 2383. A third category of complaints should be prepared naming Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh individually. These complaints should allege that knowing Trump incited an insurrection, this justice voted to give him immunity for violating the law and refused to declare Trump was ineligible to hold a government office in violation of 18 U.S.C. 2383. Armed with these attested complaints, each squad should attend every session of both the federal magistrates and district courts throughout the country. Squad members should pack the courtrooms respectfully and await the termination of the day's proceedings. Before adjournment, however, squad members should tell the judge they have business before the court. One at a time, the squad members should hand a complaint to the judge and request a warrant of arrest be issued. Each squad member should be prepared to meet the following grounds of opposition from the judge. Squad members should expect the judge to say, "This is not customary." The proper procedure is for a law enforcement officer to present such a complaint. At this point, if you have a federal, state, or local law enforcement officer in your squad, have him step forward. If not, the squad member must tell the judge that neither the Fourth Amendment nor Rule 4 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure nor any case decision has such a requirement. The judge might next object to issuing a warrant against a lawmaker exercising his right to vote on a question of impeachment. Squad members must be prepared to respond by telling the judge that the word whoever in 2383 means everyone is forbidden from giving aid or comfort to anyone who incites an insurrection. If the senator or House member did not want to vote for impeachment or break the law by giving aid or comfort, he could have abstained. The 14th Amendment was enacted to put an end to President Johnson's pardoning of Confederate insurrectionists. If Trump didn't want to break the law, he could have not pardoned the January 6 insurrectionists. If the Supreme Court justices didn't want to break the law, they could have declined to make such an extraordinary ruling, nullifying the laws and expectations of the citizenry by declaring Trump immune from criminal prosecution, a most comforting ruling to him and a violation of 18 U.S. Code 2383. Politely inform the judge that 2383 does not create an exemption for legislative votes, presidential decrees, or Supreme Court edicts. Most importantly, politely remind the judge that Rule 4 does not ask the judge to play the devil's advocate. He is not supposed to search for possible defenses. His job is to determine if the complaint, combined with the affidavits, establish probable cause, and if it does, he must issue arrest warrants. No man is above the law. There is no discretion here. Each squad must come to their local federal court armed with a folder containing one or more attested complaints. Included in each folder should be a copy of the 14th and the 4th Amendment, 18 U.S. Code 2383, and the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedures. Each squad member should ask the judge, in accordance with Rule 1BD, to appoint a non-DOJ lawyer as a prosecutor. Remind the judge that Rule 2 says the rules are to be interpreted to provide for the just determination of every criminal proceeding. Keep in mind that in accordance with Rule 1C, any other federal judge sitting anywhere may also act on your request for an arrest warrant. People are constantly asking why no one is doing anything to put an end to this corruption. President Kennedy once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Thomas Paine once wrote that now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. I say now, what are you waiting for?